Hello, everybody. Welcome back to HavoKast. Today, this is going to be a huge spoiler alert thing. Definitely, if you are going to see the Run for Your Lives tour, don't watch this if you want to keep the set list like a mystery. If you're going to the concert, this is literally going to be the set list, at least for the first half leg of the tour, so please don't watch this until after you go to the show. We can talk about this after the show. This is basically a video on the set list and comparing it to where I predicted the set list a few months ago. Kind of like a what I wanted list, but then a more realistic, like also expected to play list. So this is going to be a huge spoiler alert for any person that is going to go see this and wants to keep the set list a mystery. Not just these songs, but the order they're playing them in too. Basically what I had was a list of songs like, hey, 50 years... They just played Alexander the Great for the first time on tour, so perhaps they're going to bring in a whole bunch of others they haven't played in a while. Also, songs they haven't maybe played ever. And then songs I would want to see while they're on tour, songs that I haven't either seen them play live myself or just haven't seen in a while and kind of want to see. But I also did like that more expected song list, like that greatest hit list, what I think they would play just based on the popularity of the songs. So I did both of those. We had a video about it. And as soon as the tour was announced, it was kind of like, oh, they could go in so many different directions, you know? And I'm going to say it again, like, this is a heavy spoiler thing. We are going to reveal the set list and everything here. I mean, people that are already looking for the set list probably already know, but anybody who has not seen the set list and are seeing this video, just, if you want to keep it a mystery, we are literally going to go through the whole order and everything like that they played so far. Again, like, you know, I mean, they might change it up the second half of the tour. This is just something that's pretty interesting to me. I don't think they will, because this is kind of like the expected list that I did. The greatest hits. And I mean, I love Iron Maiden. I've seen them a bunch of times. I love their songs. I kind of know what direction the band is, like, you know, kind of leaning towards with something like this. It's more like a celebration of the band's legacy, and you know, the first 10 to 15 years or so was such a huge mark on the industry and music and their legacy in general, and you know, it's kind of reliving the glory days, I guess. So this is kind of the expected greatest hits album tour, but to celebrate the whole band's existence, which I think is kind of interesting. Now, maybe they do a two-part, you know, and they say like, hey, here's this tour where we do these songs, and then the next tour where we do the next 15 years or so, which would be pretty cool. I think a lot of people would enjoy that. It's a little refreshing to see a lot of the newer stuff on there, and not like the last 10 years newer stuff, but, you know, 2000 on, or maybe even a couple of X Factor and 11 album songs. I mean, who knows? But what we have right now is the Run for Your Lives tour, and it's basically the first 10 years plus Fear the Dark. I don't think there's a single song outside of Fear the Dark that is 90s or later. And like I say, it's kind of as expected. It's like there's a few epics here and there. There's a bunch of big songs. What I really want to do is just kind of compare this to where we were expected. So again, spoiler alert, we're about to reveal the list. So if you guys don't want to see the songs, just don't pay attention to this part. Don't even watch this video. Like, come back after you see the show. Tell me how it was in the comments. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm going to put up the set list and then my expected list from the video before. And you can go back to that video and check. It's like, you know, towards the end, I think I have the list up of the expected set list. But they open with Murders in the Rue Morgue. They haven't played this since 2005 live. Now, that's a crazy intro. I love it. I think that's such a great introduction. That was not on my expected list, but it was the only song that was on my what I want list, like what I want to see. And I expected them to open up the, you know, I would want them to open up the encore with Murders in the Rue Morgue. It's just such a great, like, slow building, atmospheric introduction to just kind of launch into the rest of the song and concert. Great way to open it up. I knew it was going to be an opener somewhere if it was played, but they open up the entire concert with it, which is pretty cool. So I like that. All right, so we got the intro, Murders in the Rue Morgue. Haven't played it since 2005. They move into Wrathchild next. So number 2 is Wrathchild. Haven't played that since 2017, so they play it pretty frequently. I mean, I've seen it a few times. That was on the expected list. I knew they would play that at some point. The way I saw it happening was opening with Aces High and then 2 Minutes to Midnight right after, so just kind of like really hitting you hard. But they're also, what seems to be happening too is they kind of are going through like earlier stuff and then it kind of mixes into later stuff. There's not a whole lot of like organization. That was another thing that I was thinking is like perhaps they will go through the timeline and start at like Iron Maiden and end up with a few songs later on, wrapping up on Seventh Son, No Prayer, or Fear the Dark. But No Prayer is completely gone from this. And really Fear the Dark is too. It's just that song. And they play that every single show, so it's there. But yeah, they move into Wrathchild. This one is awesome. I didn't see this coming. Number 3 on the list is going to be Killers. They haven't played this since 1999, which is incredible. I would go to the show just to see Killers live. I love that song. I think it's so good, and the fact that I have not seen it yet, and for some reason, I even made a special note on my list. Like, I love this song. I don't know why I didn't put it on a list. On my expected list, my what I want list, my just play this please list. I have no idea why I didn't put it on one, because I would love to see the song live. I don't know. I mean, Bruce does a great job on this. I think Paul Di'Anno, R.I.P., I think he would have done. I mean, his version of this song is just so epic. I love the build-up. It also would have been a great one to open the set list with, but, Killers is just, I like this song, and the fact they haven't played it in so long, I think is really cool too. But yeah, I don't know how I slept on that one, but at the same time, it's cool they're playing it. Now, it looks like, again, we got 3 songs from Killers right there, so we're really 81 early territory, and it gets later and later, gets later and later as the set list goes on. It's a little mixed up, but then we got Phantom of the Opera at 4. Phantom of the Opera is a great song. I put it on the expected list because it is just a great song. It's a fan favorite. Fun to play, fun to listen to, and they haven't played it since 2014, so it's been 11 years or so. So, I mean, I saw it live, and I thought it was awesome, and I'd have no problem seeing it again. I think it's definitely not overplayed, and it's definitely a great song from the early days. Yeah, it's just, that's going to be pretty epic. I like the Phantom of the Opera. And in the 4 spot, like I say, the early days are kind of up at the top. Move on to Number of the Beast next. This is an interesting spot for Number of the Beast because I like that it's not like an encore song. It's just something that's just part of the legacy. It's there. It's a fan favorite. I don't know. I mean, I put it on the expected list. I even put it as the opening to the encore, which I don't know. Why? I guess I was kind of doing as much fan service idea as possible, but yeah, it makes sense to be right in the middle here because it's kind of okay, just play it. It's something very familiar to any casual fans, and it's something that I think a lot of hardcore Iron Maiden fans don't mind hearing because it's there's some great riffs in it. It's not like Run to the Hills. Run to the Hills is just kind of hey, we're singing it. It's here. It's over. It's done. Whatever. But Number of the Beast actually has some really cool musicianship that actually goes on throughout the whole song. The solo, everything's iconic in it. I wouldn't care if they played it or not, but I don't hate that it's on the set list either. They play it a lot, so it's just like I say, the greatest hits album. They basically go down the list and say, hey, we want to put these on here. For the most part. Next is The Clairvoyant, though, at number 6. Now, this one I did not see coming. I did not expect it. I did not put it on the what I wanted list. They haven't played it since 2013. Now, I've seen it live, and it was awesome live. Great, bass exhibition song. I think that's a big thing, too, is Steve really wants the older songs that the bass really shines through to be played live. Because now you see a lot of his songs or, his parts in the songs. The ones he writes a lot on, definitely bass heavy, of course. And it's more of a, I don't know. like technically shines through kind of like bass parts. I don't want to say progressive because, I mean, just because they're longer doesn't mean they're like progressive rock. It's just a long song. But, the bass kind of shines through a little more in some of the parts. It has a little more highlights. They did a lot of that back in the day too. And you can hear, I mean, especially in some of their like quick hit songs, you'll hear the bass kind of pop every now and then. But the Clairvoyant really has that iconic introduction that I love. Especially as a bass player, like that was really fun to mess around with, when I was first learning and everything. So I like this. I like that it's on here. It's a good one from Seventh Son that doesn't get a ton of love, but probably deserves a ton of love. Next we have, not since 2017 have we seen Power Slave, and that's our number 7 song. Power Slave, just a fantastic song that a lot of people love. It's a very unique song in the catalog too. I put it on the expected list because it is one of those like songs that people don't look at often as one of their greatest hits, but is like a greatest hit. Like I said, I've seen it live. I love it. Great song. They're doing a lot of the title tracks, as you can see too. So they do Killers, they do Number of the Beast, they do Power Slave. Like they have a whole lot of the self-titled songs going through here from the albums, which is great. I think that's really cool, a little nod to that. And just kind of how the albums, a lot of times musicians and bands will put out a song that is self-titled for the album, and then the album kind of carries that, and they have a couple singles that kind of move the album, and the album, it doesn't really do the title song justice. Where Iron Maiden, I feel like a lot of the title songs were actually really some of the best songs on the albums, and then they let the rest of the songs speak for themselves. So kind of cool that they're bringing a concert with all that as well. Next is 2 Minutes to Midnight, controversial. So I didn't know so many people did not like 2 Minutes to Midnight. I thought it was like one of those that just is awesome. I've always loved it. It was actually my first Iron Maiden song and the one that got me into Iron Maiden. So I love this song. I think it's just awesome all the way through. It doesn't sound as Iron Maiden-y as some of the other ones, so I guess that's why they don't have that specific formula, which is so funny because you'll hear people say like they have this tried and tested, formula with a lot of their songs, and they just stick to that. And it's like, yeah, but then when they deviate from it and they make a good song, oh, that doesn't sound like Maiden, so it's not right, it's not good, and it's just like you just can't win in music. I think any kind of entertainment, you just can't win. You do something different, you should have stayed doing the same stuff. If you do the same stuff, you should have done something different. It is what it is. I don't know. I love the song. I think it's awesome. It's pretty heavy, pretty fun, and just so many like iconic little Adrian moments in there where he leads up like after the solo, the harmonies, everything. It's just so cool. And to see it live would be great. Strange spot though, right in the middle. So I think it's to kind of bring the energy up, but Power Slave is kind of an energy song too. So it's like, I don't know. I think we're just kind of going through time now because then next is Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Now, 2 Minutes to Midnight was played in 2019, so it's a fairly recent song. I've seen it live, love it. They play it fairly often. Great song. Rime of the Ancient Mariner, I saw this one on the, Somewhere Back in Time tour when they first brought it back after 15 years. So they haven't played this for a long time, and I did not put it on the expected or the what I want list. And I don't know, I think the what I want list was songs I didn't actually see ever. So a lot of that is stuff that they have not played or I just haven't seen. So it was kind of like, I would like to see Rime, but I didn't expect them to play it. I thought they would have a couple of epics on there, but I did not expect that one. The whole song itself is a journey, so you're going to get that intro, then it kind of lulls in the middle where you get that like, poetic moment, and then it builds up to this just explosion at the end. It's so epic. The solo with the lights and the pyro, if they're doing that again, so good. It just seems like a great like middle song. 2 Minutes to Midnight going into Rime is interesting. It's like high energy into an epic song, and then they move into more high energy with Run to the Hills. We get this like crowd favorite. It's good live. It's not something I'd ever seek out. It's on my expected list, and I'll highlight these two. The ones in green are expected that I got right. The ones in red are on the set list that I didn't even talk about. And then the one in blue is Murders in the Rue Morgue at the spot where I talked about it, but it was on the what I want list, so I didn't really guess it right because my expected list is what I thought they were going to play. So I'm not giving myself credit for that one. 5 out of 17 I'll take, though, you know. But yeah, Run to the Hills, take it or leave it. They play it all the time. Again, that's just part of the greatest hits fanfare kind of thing. They move into Seventh Son next, another epic, very good song. Probably a very underrated song, too. But it's just an incredible journey. I've seen it live on the Maiden England tour, I believe with the Clairvoyant, actually. They haven't played it since 2014 now. Just so good, though. This song is so good. I really enjoyed just how big it felt. I mean, especially with the synth and just the wall of sound feel. It's a very, very good experience. The end of that song is just so sick, too. I don't know. I love Seventh Son. Didn't put it on the expected or the what I want, but again, that was probably just because I've seen it. So I didn't want to take... I wanted... My vision for a tour of what I want was just stuff that was going to blow my mind and had nothing to do with anything they've played before live. And I would have been like, oh, cool, you know, I get to have this new experience with everything. So that's why I left it off the list, but I'm happy to see it. Like, Seventh Son's a great song. Next to the Trooper, I mean, it's the one fanfare kind of song that everybody knows that's super popular that, like, they can't leave off. I mean, if you're doing a 50th anniversary, you know, greatest hits kind of tour, you have to have the Trooper. Like, Run to the Hills, I think, is so overdone, and there's not a whole lot to back it up. Whereas the Trooper, it's just, I mean, especially what they do now with that dual harmony solo, it's just, I mean, that's really cool, really unique for Iron Maiden, but still Maiden at the same time. So I just love what they've done with the song. Run to the Hills, to me, is the exact opposite, where it's just like, okay, they play it just because they feel like they have to play it, I think. I don't know if they enjoy playing it. Maybe they do, but I feel like if you're a casual fan of the song or the band, Run to the Hills is kind of like, yeah, that's the song. And then any fans that have been there for a while, I think they can appreciate it, but I don't think it's one that they're like, yo, I can't wait till they play Run to the Hills live. Unless you've never seen the show. If you've never seen a Maiden show live, then yeah, I totally get it. Like, you got to see Run to the Hills. But I mean, I think a few of those songs are kind of on there because of that reasoning. Like, oh, if they have not seen the band live, we have to play this one. And that's kind of what this whole tour is, I guess. And then they retire some of these songs. I don't know which ones, but I guess we'll make a follow-up video about that, perhaps. Number 13 on the list is Hallowed Be Thy Name. It's a great song, and you have to include it, I think, because it's just longer, but doesn't feel long. The ending is so epic and so energetic. The vocal performance is always great on Hallowed Be Thy Name, and it's just one of their iconic songs, like a sleeper song, you know? It's kind of that bridge between a casual fan and a hardcore Iron Maiden fan where you kind of meet in the middle and say, Hallowed Be Thy Name is just awesome. And they got to play it. Towards the end of the set list, moves into number 14, Iron Maiden. They do it every show. That's just kind of where they are with with not just a popular song, but also it's just the iconic signature song. They have to play it at every show. But if you look at the list, so we have Killers, we have Iron Maiden, so there's the two earlier self-titled ones. We got Number the Beast in there. We have Power Slave. We have there's no self-title on Peace of Mind, but they only play the Trooper from Peace of Mind, which I think is kind of lame because Peace of Mind is a pretty slept-on album in general. I really like Peace of Mind and some of the songs on there. They could have played, like, Where Eagles Dare would have been cool to open the show with, like I was saying, or, Fly to Icarus could have been in there. I'm not even a huge Fly to Icarus fan, but it would have been cool to hear live, I think. But, it is what it is. And, yeah, they got Seventh Son on there. They have basically all the self-title tracks up until the encore now, where we open the encore with Aces High. And I thought they would open the whole set with that, but they've done that a couple of times before, so opening with Murders makes sense. and then opening the encore with Aces High. So I kind of got that right, just in reverse order for both of them. It's so funny. I had Murders opening up the encore in the What I Want list, and then Aces opening up the expected list, and the whole tour. So I don't know, just flipped them. But yeah, so we got Aces High opening up. High energy, awesome song. Love Aces High. It's a fun ride for sure, and a great way to open up the encore. I think that's very smart. Moving into Fear of the Dark, this is the first time it's ever been in the encore. I mean, you know, if we have a theme of them using the album title track, then they have to play it anyway, and maybe that's how they justify putting it on another tour, another... I mean, it is a fan favorite. I personally think it's tired. I think, like, okay, we've heard Fear of the Dark a lot, and I've heard it a lot. But I think it's the same thing as like a Run to the Hills, where if it's your first time at that show, then you want to hear that song. Every show I've been to, they've played Fear of the Dark. So, you know, and they just do it often because it is a great crowd song. But it is also, again, I mean, I would have loved to hear it. Not that they could play this anyway. I mean, maybe they could. Be Quick or Be Dead would have been fantastic. I don't know. I think... replacing Fear of the Dark with something else. Also, not a single No Prayer for the Dying song on there. I know the album is one that I am not a fan of, but, I mean, maybe a song, a nod, something. I mean, it's part of their history still. So, I don't know. Ending the set list with Wasted Years. This song, I absolutely love. I think Wasted Years is probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorites. There is... so much nostalgia in this song, so much energy and a great message, and I think it's also a just sneaky, like, great way to end this set list because it's kind of like, hey, this is 50 years of history. Don't waste your time worrying about all of those past years and everything like that. Like, let's live in the moment. Let's do this. Let's move forward with the music and everything we got going on. So I think it's kind of one of those, like, you know, kind of sneaky, like, big moment, big idea. Like, this is why we have that song there. It's kind of interesting to me that it's there. I had it in my encore as well, and I like that they're closing the show with that. That's a great. I mean, that's one of those. That's one of those songs that you just hear and, like, it's a tough note to leave on, in my opinion, because you just want more after you hear Wasted Years. I'm used to it being higher up in the set lists when they play it, and I also am like, I'm a very, like, kind of sentimental person with this band, so, like, hearing Wasted Years to leave off of, it's like that high energy note, it's that great message, but it's also kind of that somber note of, like, man, all of those good years, you know? So yeah, definitely live in the now, and it's kind of a big, like, nod to everybody that is listening to music or doing anything in life. Like, all right, you've had those great times. Let's keep having good times, but they're going to be new good times, you know? At least that's what the message I get out of it is. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was a very spoiler-filled video. And hopefully, you know, people can look back on this and say, like, oh, that was a fun little exercise into the, you know, set list or whatever. I know a lot of people did prediction videos and all that. I thought it was a lot of fun to do, especially with the unpredictability of set lists and how big the catalog is and everything. And who knows, maybe they will come back with another tour, or part 2 tour. But we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting tour in general. I can't wait to see what happens if they do a second set list, or if they change anything, if they do a second part to this. Maybe they do, you know, in a couple of years, like, oh, more, you know, songs from the 90s and beyond. I can't see them ever doing anything like that. Maybe 2000s and beyond, because the 90s were kind of a forgotten time for Iron Maiden, and really just, you know, heavy metal in general. But I don't know. There's a lot of hardcore fans that be interested in it. I understand that it might not be the best to appeal just to, like, me, you know. They still have to make money on the tour. They still have to sell out stuff. They still have to play the best songs and the greatest hits and everything like that. But it'd be kind of cool to see, like, some variation in that list. Either way, I like the set list. I think it's a great job. It is, our expected set list. And it's just one that, I don't know. I did a pretty good job guessing, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I like this kind of thing. It's fun to do. It's fun to talk about favorite band and favorite anything. This is what this channel is all about, you know. So, yeah, like I say, discuss if you guys, you know, are happy about this list, if you want to change some things, if there's, you know, if you've gone to the tour and you think, oh, hey, you know, I can finally talk about this video now. How was the experience at the show? I'd like to go. I don't think that's going to be in the cards, but we'll see. Either way, I mean, it looks like a pretty good set list. Like I say, if you put on a greatest hits set list, this is what I would see. And so I'm going to be excited about it, especially if you like, I mean, Killers, Phantom of the Opera. I always like seeing 2 Minutes to Midnight. I mean, Seventh Son again is going to be epic. Wasted Years is my favorite song. I could see Aces High a million times over and be happy. Like, there's a lot of songs to like in this. Murders in the Rue Morgue is going to be fantastic, and I am just so excited about that. But, yeah, that's what we got going on here. That's what Iron Maiden has going on, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all, and y'all take it easy.